Time to talk hockey with flair. And of course, that means just one guy, Barry Melrose. Not just our NHL analyst, but also a dual citizen here with Ask a Canadian. You've missed doing this.
I have missed doing it. It's a good feature. I know Canadians intimidate you guys a little bit, and you don't want me on the show that much, but it is a good feature, and it's fun to do.
I want you to hang out every day with us here in studio. Let me start on the ice. Last Friday in the fighting that we saw between the Penguins and the Islanders, and Mario Lemieux had some harsh comments. Said that it was disappointing the way the league had handled it. I want to get the right word. He criticized them. He said that the league failed. That was the word I wanted to use. What did you think of those comments?
Number one, I love the fact Mario's making comments, that he's out front talking. I think the whole hockey world would like Mario to do more of that. They would love him to become the face of the owners. But I don't agree with Mario. Number one, that game happened because of the game before. In the game before, Pittsburgh was winning all the fights. If you remember, Brent Johnson, the goaltender, hurt DiPietro, and then you had Max Talbot hitting Como, who's just coming back from a concussion. So this game happened because of that, and this game got out of hand. Now, Mario's team is leading the NHL in fighting majors. They have Matt Cook on their team, which is been in the middle of more dirty and questionable hits than anybody else in the NHL. And his team won all the fights the game before, and Mario never said a thing. So all of a sudden, when his team loses the fights, Mario makes a big comment about how the NHL failed. And the NHL acted quicker and more severely than any other league ever acts, and it always does. Suspended the Islander players for 13 games, suspended Goddard for 10 games, fined the Islanders for $100,000. So I think the NHL acted very quickly and very severely. A
lot of the argument, though, sometimes is that's what people know hockey for, or people that are maybe fringe fans, they want the fights, and the NHL allows them to happen. Should that change?
No, it shouldn't change. Number one, everybody says, well, you've got to take fighting out of hockey. If we take fighting out of hockey, number one, I love fighting. It's exciting. It's there for a reason. It's part of our history. Show me the 100 million people that are going to come and watch hockey because we take fighting out of our sport. And I hate succumbing to a small minority of people who don't like fighting. Mothers that don't want their kids to play hockey, mothers that don't want their kids to watch hockey, aren't going to all of a sudden take them to the rink at 5 o'clock in the morning because fighting is not in our sport anymore.
All right, let's move on to more Penguins talk. Sidney Crosby, with his concussion, still hasn't played. Are we going to see him anytime soon?
Yeah, I think we will. Everything says it's going to be back in March, but the concussion has become the hockey injury of the 21st century. It's scary. It takes longer than people think. That's the first hit that happened on New Year's Day. But all indications are that he feels, and the Penguins feel, he will be back in March, and they need him back. They won last night in overtime against Colorado, but this team's in a free fall right now. They're not playing great. They need something to spark them, maybe a trade at the deadline, but certainly getting Sidney back is what they need more than anything.
All right, let's go to some of the fun stuff. We've been very serious with you so far. Fun maybe not for Mike Fisher, though. He is married to Carrie Underwood. So apparently when he was recently traded, well, it's not for him. This was the headline in the Tennessean. Carrie Underwood's husband traded to Predators. Are you okay with that?
Well, I'm afraid you're going to think less of me after I give you my answer. But I should be politically correct and lie, but it would bother me. It would bother me.
You don't have to be politically correct and lie.
If my wife, and my wife's a great lady, she's smarter than I am, she speaks better than I am, she's funnier than I am, but if I had to go to parties and carry her coat and smile in the background and be Mrs. Melrose, I'd have trouble. I really would.
If it was like a country music award thing and it's Carrie Underwood's husband, would that be an okay moment?
It's still, if they're calling you Mr. Underwood, it would bother me.
Ooh, okay.
I'd have trouble with that. All
right, we've got to talk about...
A male chauvinist pig.
I kind of agree with you on that one, though. All right, burning questions only a Canadian can answer. Justin Bieber, the hair. He's an Ontario native.
Yes, he is. Loves the Toronto Maple Leafs, so he's had nothing to cheer about his whole life.
How do you think he'd look with a mullet?
Justin Bieber would look good with a shaved head. He'd look good with an afro. He'd look good with no hair. This kid right now is on top of the world.
Well, there he is with a mullet.
He actually looks better like that.
Really?
I think he looks better like that.
Well, what do you...
But I got one name, Leaf Garrett. You remember the name
Yes,
Leaf Garrett?
Yes, I do.
Leaf Garrett was the heartthrob of the 70s. He was Justin Bieber. He was in every movie. He was in every song. He was in every teen magazine. All of a sudden, he turns 20 years old. You know what happened? His hair fell out.
Yeah, you need the hair. It's
one of the saddest things I've ever seen in my life.
Here's the thing, though, Barry. I just wanted to see you Bieberized, so we did it for you. Here's Barry Bieberized with the little Bieber haircut.
You know what? That's not bad.
Oh, Barry, no.
No, that's not bad.
No, Barry. Oh, my gosh, that's great.
Canadians are good-looking people. You just can't get around it.
And you just can't get around Lady Gaga and the egg that I wanted to say late at the Grammys, she didn't. She came out of.
Someone put an egg over my head right now, real
exactly.
quick, please.
What would a Canadian have done differently with the egg entrance?
Canadian would have came out in a donut.
Oh.
Slam dunk. That's what a Canadian would. Coffee, you come out sitting in a cup, and donut on the side. That would be a Canadian prop, no doubt about it.
I like it. And a little side of Canadian
Little
bacon.
side of Canadian bacon, yeah.
Perfect. Barry Melrose, Ask a Canadian. It's my favorite segment every week. Thanks, Barry.
Thank you very much.